Well, the concrete forms ran into an issue. And it's really nothing to do with the forms themselves. It actually is working. It's a little higher maintenance than I thought it would be. They take a little bit extra effort, take more time, and that's the issue. My wife is not happy with how quickly I'm able to produce them. And even if I get a third form, it takes, for a 12-foot long bed, it takes 8 forms to be poured, which means I gotta prep 8 forms. That takes a little bit of time because the caulk has to dry. That takes a day before I can then pour concrete. A lot of times I don't get to that for 2-3 days. I like to let the concrete sit in the form for a couple days because I like to let it fully, at least cure as much as possible. I don't want to just try to tap it apart the next day and it's still fairly weak. Concrete takes a little bit to cure. So all told so far, I've made 5 casts, and I'll let that semi-truck pass us. They're hauling manure today. They've been hauling it all week so far. There's another one of those poop trucks coming by. All day long. They run about one every 5 minutes is what that happens. Sort of stinks out here. So all told, I made 5 casts, and it's taken me a long time. Obviously I'm working out bugs right now and figuring out like this form and why the thing is separating and what I can do to make that better and things like that. But in the end, I have enough material for the 3 templates, and so I can make 3 casts at a time. That basically, at my current pace, would take me 3 weeks to make a raised bed, and that is what my wife is finding unacceptable. Now, next, as I work through summer, I'm going to still cast and make them. I just have to pile up an inventory basically so that I can then use these. But at this point, I'm probably just going to end up running over to Menards and buying green treated lumber. That's what I made the last 2 beds out of last year. She's very happy with those. I used 2x10s, and I think I got 14 footers. This year I'm thinking I'm just going to do 12 footers. The price for a 14 footer is quite a bit more than a 12 footer. So I'm just going to do 12 footers, and it takes 2x10s for the sides, 8 foot long 2x10 for the end. I cut it in half, 4 foot wide bed, 12 feet long, and then I just use 2x4s for the corners to reinforce the corner a little bit. And that's even extra. I probably don't have to do that. I probably could just overlap them and they would most likely be okay, but I like that extra material to hold it. So yeah, that's where we are at this point. Pouring this concrete has also cost-wise not worked out because I found I have to use crack-resistant bags of concrete. Crack-resistant's about $1 more a bag. That eats into the savings. So now instead of making a bed, out of 8 bags of concrete, which I could have gotten for like $2.50 pretty easily once in a while for $2. Now I have to spend near $4. So it's almost double the price. That puts it almost at the same price as green treated. The advantage of green treated is I can run over to Menards and buy that material, and in an hour from the time I leave, I'll be back and have it built. So it's hard to fight that. And then we can start loading up with dirt. So that's the situation. That's where I'm at. Unfortunately, I don't feel like this experiment worked as good as what I was hoping for. But this is why I try this stuff. I watched that video, Man About Tools. Again, I give him a lot of credit. It was his idea. I really like what he showed. I don't know if it's things that I'm doing different than what he's doing, but it just doesn't seem like it's working. I didn't realize how much time it was going to take. So, but I still plan to pour and do some stuff. The positive side, I've never dealt with concrete before. So this was one of the things I wanted to do because I wanted to experiment with concrete a little bit, get familiar with it. This gave me an excuse to do that. In the end, I learned a lot. I'm happy I did this because I learned that. And I wouldn't have learned about concrete. And although I'm not intimidated by things, you know, I'm hesitant to do a big project with something if I've never dealt with the thing before. So I like to learn about it and experiment with it. This gave me that level, so now if there was something I needed to do with a bunch of concrete, I have no problem. I would be able to pour the form, you know, set the rebar, do the stuff, and it would be like, yeah, I know about what I would expect to have done. So, thanks. And here's a look at the actual forms. These are 3 of the forms I've poured recently. All in all, I'm pretty happy with them. They're turning out pretty nice. I'm going to pour 1 more because I need 6 forms to make an 8-foot bed. I'm prepping this right now for that last form. So I'm going to put it back together, caulk it up, and then I'll be ready to pour that one tomorrow once the caulk dries. So, and then I'll decide what I want to do. Bye-bye.